Okay, so I have opened up a document. This was an article that I've written for my website that I had stored in a file, and it does not follow accessibility standards. So I'm going to have us walk through how to make this form accessible. So if you look up at the top, in that top ribbon, it says the name of the form, the Expanded Core Curriculum, and it's followed by DOC. DOC is the older version of Microsoft Word, and that does not have the accessibility checker. If I try to check accessibility, and I say review, and in the ribbon I check accessibility, it's going to say this document is an older format with limited functionality. So what I want to do is I want to convert it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to save as, I'm going to go to browse, and I'm going to save it as, I'm going to get rid of that hashtag, just the Expanded Core Curriculum. And instead of the file type being the Word 97 to 2003 document, I'm going to click on that and it drops down the options, and I'm going to pick that first one. It's called Word Document and it's the .docx. So I'm selecting that. And I'm updating the author instead of C. Will. I'm going to put my name and it'll jump up. And the title is the Expanded Core Curriculum. And even though I have that as listed as the file name, I am going in and adding it here because that gets into the root of it, and it'll associate it for screen readers to be able to find the title. So now I'm going to save, and it's converting it. Yes, I'm sure that's what I want to do. So now look, it pops up the different errors that are in it. It's missing alt text. I need to check the reading order. There's other things that are wrong about this document that the accessibility checker does not check, which is why I'm showing you step by step the different things you need to look for so that you can be sure that you're meeting accessibility standards. So what I wanted to go over right now is let's select the way that I had originally spaced it was I had double spaced between my paragraphs. And there is a better way to do that. That is, may not flag it here, but it cleans it up if you don't have all those extra spaces. And so you can select, or let's do select all. We're going to be cleaning this whole thing up, but let's start here. So there's different ways that you can do this. You can go to line and paragraph spacing. And I am in the Home tab now, and I am in the Paragraph section, and I can choose, right now it's single spaced. I can make it where it's 1.15 or 1.5, 2. I think that's a little excessive. For my preferences, I'm going to say 1.15 for this document. You may find you need to have it spaced differently. And now you'll see I still don't have that space added between my paragraphs, and it reads better. It's going to pass the accessibility checker, but it's going to read better if those items are chunked together and you have breaks in between your paragraphs. So the way to do that, select all again, and I'm going to come to Layout tab and select that, and here we have the spacing. And there's the paragraph, and there's a little pop out, a little arrow in the corner where you can change the paragraph settings. So when I come to this, I'm going to say that I do want, before and after, that I want 6-point break in between. Okay, so I'm going to select OK, and now it is given that little cushion. So if you look at it and you think, you know what, I think I want a little bit more space, then you just adjust it accordingly, and I can say, let's do 12 point and see how that gives it just a little bit more space on either side. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get us caught up on the different things that I've talked about so far. So you'll see that the default, and the default on all in the Word documents is the Calibri. I don't want that as my default. I like the Arial font. So I'm going to select all, and look, everything is coming up as normal. Why? Because I did not use headers when I created this. And I'm going to show you how to change and how to create headers so that screen readers can navigate. But for right now, let's just focus on getting caught up to where we were. And so I'm going to right click, and sorry, I am in Home, on the Home tab, and in the ribbon, I am under Styles. I'm right clicking on Normal because that's the normal text, and I'm going to modify it, which is the second option. So I click on that, and I say, you know what, I don't want Calibri, I want Arial. I'll leave it at 11 point because the Arial font is going to make that a little larger. Just because of the style of it. I'm going to select OK. There. Now everything that I do when I'm in that normal now is going to go to the Arial font, and I won't have to keep making those changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the added spacing that I had. See, here's extra spacing throughout the document. And I had pulled up, here's our little list. So far, what we've talked about is selecting the fonts. So I did that. I changed it to the Arial font. And the font size, I selected 11 because I wanted standard print. Avoid all caps. Well, let's see if I had all caps so far. I don't think in this document that I did make that error. Still get rid of those added spaces. Whoops. Undo. Okay, those are just different online resources that I had added. All right, so let's go back to our little note. We've checked the font, we've checked the font sizes, avoided all caps. Everything is aligned to the left. Oh, let me just show you. I had talked to you about the justifying. This is all left justified, or left aligned, excuse me. It is not justified. If we were to justify, that is Control plus J, or it's the last tab in the paragraph option under Home. And see how that stretches out the words. So all your text are going to line up on either side, but it just contorts the words. And so it just limits the, reduces the readability. So I'm going to hit undo. We do not want it to be justified. What else was on our list? Avoiding caps, left align, color contrast. Well, it is black on white, so that's good. And there is adequate white space because we are not justifying, and we have enough of a margin. So it's spaced, and we added the spaces so it has that nice white space. So we'll stop now and proceed with the different items, and we're going to come back and clean up this document.